marker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 for championship number 6. Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining, and they're putting Curry in a pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown.
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Tap Room Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan. Stacks on stacks on stacks, lads. Joined with my guy, Mr. Big Ballin' Ben Larson.
Yes, sir.
Live and direct Tuesday evening. New Year 2025. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to the program. We do have an announcement coming up, which we'll probably get to. We can do it after the show or at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Do it at the end of the show, and big news happening. A lot of stuff moving around, but yeah. So we're excited for that. NFL playoffs week, wild card weekend coming up this weekend. So we're gonna
18. Or I guess week 19, huh?
Yeah, wild card weekend.
Yeah.
We're gonna break down these games and talk about them. We are being brought to you by the Sharps app, SHARPZ, straight to your mobile device. Use promo code JORD517. It's free to download, free to use. Track your bets, become a better Sharps app. How we doing, Ben?
Doing well, man. I'm trying a new beer tonight, which I'm really excited about because it has a hop that I've never heard of before. So
Nice.
it's Altamont Beer Works. It's called Superdelic Nectar, which is West Coast IPA, but it has Superdelic and Nectaron hops. Never heard of Superdelic hops before.
Interesting.
So another variation. So
Who makes it?
Altamont.
Ultimate. Oh, nice.
So Livermore.
Yes. Nice.
Super cool can.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That is a cool can.
Yep.
It's a West Coast IPA.
Yep.
What's the percentage?
6%.
Oh, that's not bad.
So no, not bad. Should be drinkable. I like West Coast IPAs more than regular IPAs now. So I saw it, I'm like, okay, and Superdelic hops, let's do it.
Interesting, Ben. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
All right. So we got the NFL coming up. Wild card weekend. Ending one of the worst fucking football seasons I've ever watched in my entire life. I mean, it's been a crazy year, dude. It's just, we talked about it before. Just the upper echelon compared to the bottom teams is just such a. It's just weird. It's unlike the NFL, and I follow an odds maker from Las Vegas who's been in the industry since the 80s, and he was saying the only other season he'd ever seen like this was like 2005 or something. It was something in the early 2000s, but still, like, it didn't even compare to like the rate that favorites were hitting. I mean, favorites since the middle of October, I think it was week 9 or week 10. Favorites hitting over 72% and winning outright over 80%. I mean, just unreal. There's a reason why the NFL, they always say any given Sunday, right? Because usually teams are much closer. This year, not so much the case. And the funny thing is too is like a lot of the favorites that are covering, they're like covering in like some of the games. A lot of the games are covering in like crazy ass ways, like the Broncos Browns Monday night game, right? Pick six brings the Denver Broncos to a 2-score lead, and then the Browns march down the field, get on the 1-yard line, could punch it in to cover, and they throw, and Jameis Winston throws an interception. Broncos end up covering, right?
Yep.
The Bengals game versus the Cowboys. The Bengals could have just slid down, kicked a field goal, win the game. Jamar Chase goes in the end zone. they win by 7. The spread was 4. I mean, these are just a few things. It's just a lot of that's been happening this year, which usually is not the case. And so, crazy year, and that's it happens. And one thing I noticed about this year, Ben, is like the quarterback play is just absolutely fucking atrocious, dude. Like it's just some of the worst quarterback play we've probably ever seen in the NFL. And
Yeah, but I do think this is what the NFL wants. I mean, I think
this is absolutely not what the NFL wants.
I don't think this is what Vegas wants, but I think what
the NFL does not want blowouts every fucking week. That is absolutely not what
the NFL wants 15 teams in double-digit wins. That's exactly what the NFL wants because it gives. I mean, look at the NFC North. You have 3 teams with double-digit wins. Like, barring injury to Green Bay, like that's a 3-team race. You look at the NFC East, Washington and Philly, like that was lively up until
but then you have
last week.
But then you have Houston, who literally won their division by default because their fucking division sucks, and like Houston's not that good either.
But it wasn't by default. The Colts were at 8-9 versus the Texans, which were 10-7.
The Colts were terrible.
Yeah, the Colts were terrible. Yeah, but that's also because Jacksonville was horrendous and Tennessee was even worse.
Yeah, and Denver is in the playoffs, and they're in the playoffs because they played the easiest schedule in the NFL.
Yeah, and they had a better quarterback play than everyone thought. Yes, absolutely. Nobody thought Bo Nix was going to be even a decent quarterback.
I mean, he's definitely better than we thought, but I mean, like, you look at the games that he plays, and it's like, against good teams, he's hella struggled, and against bad teams, and I'll throw KC as a bad team on week 18 because they didn't play anybody.
Yeah,
he played really good. I mean, even against Cleveland, he was terrible. The game they won by 14 points. The only reason why they won that game is because they had 2 pick sixes, 3 interceptions total.
But you can only play what's in front of you, so
100%. But the NFL wants, like, the NFL is all parity, dude. Like, parity is the NFL. Like, teams very rarely make the playoffs 2 years in a row. Like, it constantly recycles. I mean, the NFC East went an entire decade where a team didn't repeat as division winners.
Yeah.
Until the Eagles did it 2 years ago. That was the first time in over a decade the NFC East had a division winner repeat 2 years in a row. I mean, that's the NFL. And the NFL is always a lot closer. That's why people love the NFL. People love the NFL because the games are always hella good any given Sunday.
Yeah.
And this year, you just have your good teams, you have your medium teams, and then you just have a ton of dog shit.
Yeah, there was a ton of dog shit teams. But again, those games were entertaining because they were blowouts. It was okay. How badly can we beat the Patriots?
Those are not entertaining games, dude.
Yeah, if you're on the other side, those are entertaining.
I mean, dude, if you're talking about betting, then sure. Like, I mean, even if you have a rocking chair bet, like, it doesn't make it an entertaining game. Like, then you can just kick your feet up and you're just enjoying life. Like,
enjoying it. It's entertaining.
But you're not enjoying the actual game. I mean, it's bad football being played. Nobody enjoyed a Raider game this year.
If you're the team playing the Raiders, you did enjoy it because they allowed your team to do things that they normally don't do. I'm not talking from a betting standpoint. I'm talking from the Chargers standpoint when they go in and win by 20. Yeah, if you're a Chargers fan, you're loving that game.
Sure, but like, it's not good football though. It's not a good product. It's not enjoyable to watch.
It's not competitive. It damn sure is enjoyable to watch.
No, yeah, for the team, for the fucking team's fans, but even as a fan, dude,
or anyone who doesn't want to see the Raiders win.
I mean, dude, that's not like I like this. I like football, dude. I want to see good football. I don't want to see one team just absolutely dominate, and that's why I love the NFL, is because.
And that's why you have 14 other games to watch that week.
The top to bottom is usually not that big of a gap as it is today. Yeah, this year
you can still find enjoyable games out of that.
Sure, I mean, there's a couple enjoyable games, but I mean, even some of the close games were fucking absolutely atrocious, dude. Like, I mean, the Jets played a lot of close games. None of those were good games. You know,
Sure.
there was a lot of fucking bad football being played this year, and I don't know what the answer is, but and a lot of it had to do with a lot of teams had a ton of injuries. You know what I mean? Like a lot of teams were super banged up. But yeah, I mean, it was just it was an interesting year.
Yep.
But now we got the playoffs, and and again, and this is a week where we're gonna see some of those teams that made the playoffs by default because they played a soft ass schedule, and they're gonna get fucking smacked around. Like Denver has no fucking chance against Buffalo, dude.
No.
Like, I mean, what are we fucking doing here? The Texans,
What's the line on that one?
8.5.
Oh, but yeah, still, I'm betting that.
8.5. The total is 47.
I think that goes over too. I think Buffalo's gonna score 42.
I don't know if they're gonna score that much. I don't even know what the weather is gonna be like because that's gonna be
29 degrees and cloudy, no rain or snow.
so. I mean, I will say Denver has a better defense than we expected, but I mean, they did get they gave up 34 points to the Chargers, 30 points to the fucking Bengals. They gave up 32 to the Browns. So I mean, like their defense, like while it's good, I don't know how good it really is because a lot of the games where they held opponents to, like low scores were against really fucking bad teams like the Raiders. So and on the flip side, Buffalo, their defense much improved as the season went on, and obviously they have Josh Allen. So I mean, this was like a game that I circled like right when it came out. I was like, Denver's a team that I want to fade. They were 12-5 against the spread during the regular season. They had a ton of luck go their way. I mean, they had a lot of games where they won on pick sixes, which is cool, but it's not sustainable. Like that, you can't sustain that week to week. And Josh Allen actually, he didn't turn the ball over a lot this year. He only, one of his best seasons he's ever had. So, yeah, I like Buffalo in this game. I think they're gonna smack them. Not really sure on the total. I think the total at 47 is pretty good because I don't know how much Denver is going to really score, dude.
Yeah.
I really don't. I like the spread there. But let's start with Saturday. We have Houston. They're hosting the LA Chargers. Houston is currently 3-point dogs, but minus 120. It's juiced. It's juiced right now if you want the +3, and the total's 42. Saw something earlier that away favorites in the NFL playoffs are like less than 23% against the spread in the last 10 years, which doesn't bode well for the Chargers here. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, I think the Chargers are the better team, though. I think a big question mark is Dobbins going to play? He's questionable, and has he been practicing? Limited participant on Tuesday,
so he's probably going to play.
He's probably going to play. Still got a couple days there for him to come back in, but I do think he's the lesser of the two running backs there. I do like Mixon better, but I think Justin Herbert's the better quarterback. Stroud is good, but Stroud throws the ball away a lot, and the Chargers still have a good defense. I think that is going to play a part in this game. I'd probably go CJ over 0.5 interceptions. I think the receiving core is probably better for Houston, but the Chargers receiving core is not trash. So I mean, I think things balance out here. I think this is going to be a really good game, probably the tightest game out of the group. And I lean the Chargers here. I think they're I think the offensive style of Harbaugh is going to beat the defensive style of oh my God, why can't I think of him? The coach. He
Of
was
the
the Niners
Texans,
defensive coordinator.
D'Amico Ryans.
Yeah, thank you. D'Amico Ryan. So
I mean, I actually think Houston has a better defense than the Chargers. To be honest, the the Texans are 6th in yards per game, 4th in yards per play. The Chargers defense 9th in yards per game, 13th in yards per play. I actually think if there was an edge here, for a team, I think it's probably. I mean, I think these two teams are very even, dude. I think I lean Houston plus the 3 points. I'm not really interested in laying +3 minus 120. I missed out on the +3 minus 110. So I'd probably just look at this in game. I also kind of like the under 41.5. I think this is going to be a very low scoring game because, again, both defenses are very good. Houston's offense has struggled. CJ Stroud is, sophomore slump. He's taken a step back this year. Why that is, I don't know. But, I mean, Houston comes into the game. They're 23rd in yards, 20th in yards per play, and they're 21st in pass yards per game. But the Chargers aren't much better offensively. They're 21st in yards per game, 14th in yards per play, 18th in rushing. So I think this is going to be a defensive battle, dude. I think this is going to be a very low-scoring game. I could see this game being like 13-10 at the end, or 16-13, or 16-14. Like, it's going to be a very low-scoring game. I wouldn't even be shocked if there's only 1 or 2 touchdowns total in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be a very low-scoring game. I think field position is going to be very important. So I think both punters are going to be very important in this game. And honestly, I think whoever wins the turnover battle probably wins this game.
Yeah.
So I lean the Texans here. But again, missing out on that +3, and I'm not laying minus 120 on +3. So I'm probably gonna look at this in game, but I do like the under.
Okay. 42.5.
40, is it 42.5 or 42?
Yeah, 42.5.
Yeah, I like under 42.5. That's a key number too. I like that. I like that one. All right, let's move on to the other game on Saturday. We have Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Baltimore's lane 10 here. I'm sorry, they're lane 8.5 right now, so it's been bought down. I was gonna say 10 is a lot for a playoff.
Wow, I see ESPN bet at 9.5 right now.
So BetMGM's at 8.5, FanDuel's at 9.5, Bet365's at 10. Caesars is at 10. DraftKings is at 9.5. So it's all over the place.
I'm seeing 10 at +100 on my book.
-10?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an interesting game because, I mean, the last 4 weeks, Pittsburgh has looked absolutely fucking atrocious. Like, their offense is absolutely broken. They scored 17 points, 10 points, 17 points, 13 points. They have not scored over 20 points since December 8th when they beat Cleveland. So, I mean, this offense is absolutely broken at this point. So it's tough to bet Pittsburgh here. And their defense is nowhere near as good of a defense as they once were. 24th in yards per game, giving up 326.7 yards per game. 15th in yards per play, 5.6 yards per play. They do stop the run pretty well. They only allow 98 yards per rushing a game. Mm-hmm. But Ben, they're 28th against the pass. I mean, they're getting fucking lit up through the air.
Yeah. Yeah, and we look at these, going back to the last four games, is those are all strong. Again, maybe you can take out Cincinnati there, but like strong playoff caliber teams. Um, granted they did have the win against Baltimore early in the year, November 17th, when it was 18-16. But you look at all the other wins that they had, and they're kind of either bottom feeder teams or teams that weren't quite set yet.
Yeah.
You have Atlanta week 1, new quarterback. Denver week 2, new quarterback. LA, the Chargers week 3, new coach and new system. Then you lose to Indianapolis, lose to Dallas.
I mean, their
You win
defense has
against,
fallen off completely. Like
yeah,
their defense isn't good.
you get wins against Vegas, the Jets, the Giants, Washington by 1, um, Baltimore by 2. Then you lose to Cleveland. You beat Cleveland again, another dog shit team.
You get
And then
walloped
you
by
have,
the Eagles.
yeah, you fall off on the Eagles, you fall off on Baltimore, you fall off on Kansas City.
I mean, they got walloped by those 3 teams, like
Yeah.
absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, and I think Baltimore comes out very hungry here.
The one thing I will say,
Um,
the one thing I will say about this and why I won't lay it with Baltimore is historically Lamar Jackson has struggled in the playoffs.
yeah.
That still exists. B, Pittsburgh's defense is good against the run, and that's where Baltimore like really feasts. Like they want to run the ball first and foremost, and then throw the ball second. And that's why they beat them in the first matchup, 18-16, was because Baltimore. I mean, yeah, Baltimore could not run the ball like at all. They could not run the ball against them. Second matchup a little bit different. They won 34-17, and they ran the ball for almost 200 yards. So over 200 yards, sorry. So they had a little bit more success running the ball in the second matchup. The other thing is Pittsburgh likes to run the ball too. That's where they hang their hat on. They want to run the ball first and foremost. And Baltimore does not give up yards on the ground. That's where their defense is good. They're first in the league in rushing yards per game, only allowing 80 rushing yards per game. But they're 31st against the pass. So they're not good against the pass. But Pittsburgh hasn't been able to throw the ball against anybody in the last couple of weeks, including Baltimore.
Yeah.
So
Pickens was absolutely
I mean, he was terrible on Saturday, dude. He had like 5 drops. He looked like he just didn't fucking care. He didn't want to be there. That's why I have zero interest in playing this game at all. Like, I don't even want to play it from a total standpoint. Like, if I were to play the total, I would play the under. But I don't want to lay 10 points. I don't want to lay 8.5. I don't want to lay 9.5. So if I'm looking at this game, maybe tease it down if you can get under 3 or 2-3. But if I were to play this game, if you put gun to my head to play the game, I would play under 43. Because I don't think Pittsburgh's going to score.
43 is a somewhat low number, though.
It's low for a reason, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, because you're basically going to make Lamar throw.
Yeah. And keep in mind, too, Pittsburgh has an extra day advantage rest in preparation for this game because they played on Saturday night last week. Baltimore played on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Baltimore did play last Saturday, right? Yeah, they played last Saturday. They beat the shit out of the Browns. Never mind. So they have equal rest here. But again, no interest on the side on this one. Lean the under. And that's where I'm at in this one. I just
think 10 points is too many.
Yeah, it's way too many, especially considering the Ravens have struggled in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know, even last year against the Texans, you know, they beat them, but it wasn't like they smacked them.
Yeah.
And then they lost at home to the fucking Chiefs.
That was a hell of a game by CJ though. And I don't see that happening with old man Wilson. So
Not what we've been given the last 4 weeks, but I've seen this movie play out before. A team comes in looking like shit, and then they're gonna go out there and fucking light them up, dude. Like, I've seen this movie one too many times.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I just have zero interest in this game. Maybe looking at it live, you know what I mean? Because I do think Baltimore is a better team. So maybe if Pittsburgh goes up 7-0, then you like fire on Baltimore -3 or -3.5.
Yeah. Agree with you on that.
All right, let's move on to the next game. On Sunday, we have Denver at Buffalo. We kind of touched on this one a little bit. Buffalo laying anywhere from -8.5 to -9. And then the totals at basically 47 everywhere. Again, I like the under on this one. I think Denver is gonna I think they're really gonna struggle to score against Buffalo. And again, laying 9. If there was a game where I was gonna lay it, it would be Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm willing to lay the 9 points here. I just think Josh Allen is too good of a quarterback. He can throw and he can run. And he has great vision on the field of when he needs to run. So I think anytime that they get down into the red zone, they're likely going to score. So
yeah,
I really like Dalton Kincaid as a tight end too. It's a well-built offense there. And like you said earlier, the defense is playing strong. So I think it's going to be difficult for Denver to score. And I think Buffalo runs away with this one.
It's so hard to take Denver's stats seriously on defense. Because, I mean, like, they're a top 10 defense by the metrics. They're third in yards per play. They only allow 96 rush yards. But, I mean, like, dude, look at the teams they played, Ben. They played a Kansas City Chiefs team who was playing, like, they threw nobody out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
They win against Indianapolis, where they trailed that game for basically most of the game, and then, you know, again, pick sixes, turn the fucking whole game around. Again, Cleveland Browns.
Not Indianapolis.
Yeah, Indy.
The Colts?
Yeah.
It was a 31-13 game?
Yeah, and it was like 13-7, and then 13-10 after the third quarter. They scored 21 points in the fourth quarter.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
I mean, the Colts were like, they were winning that game. They should have won that game. Just like Cleveland should have won that game too. I mean, they should have 2 losses. They had a lot of shit go their way. You know, they play the fucking Raiders, the Falcons. I mean, they just like, they beat up on a lot of bad teams, dude. So that's why it's hard for me to like look at their data and be like, oh yeah, this is a great defensive team. You know, because they haven't played nobody.
Yeah. Yeah. I think their biggest win is probably the Bucks. Well, no, the Chiefs, but obviously the Chiefs didn't have anyone on the field.
In that Bucks game, they won. The Bucks had 9 starters out.
Yeah. And that was what, week 3? Yeah.
Yeah, and they should have lost to the Jets. The
Jets,
fucking Greg Zuerlein
Raiders.
missed 3 fucking field goals in that game.
Yeah. Saints, Panthers, Falcons, Raiders, Browns, Colts. Like, those are all that lower echelon, you know, team. But again, you play what's in front of you. And, you know, when you're the last place team in your division, were they last place or were the Raiders last place last year?
I think
they were last in their
Broncos were.
division.
Yeah, Broncos were.
Yeah. So when you know, change that around to being,
I mean, the one thing I'll say is they took advantage of a shitty schedule.
That bad schedule.
Yeah, they took advantage of
Yeah.
it. And that's credit to them. And, like, like again, dude, I don't want to take away anything from the Broncos. I'm just trying to keep it as objective as possible. You know what I mean? Like when you compare the Broncos to the Bills, I just do not think that they are anywhere near the Bills level.
Yeah.
I think they're clearly steps behind, and a lot of shit went their way this year, and a lot of shit could go their way in this game. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
it's highly unlikely.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't see it happening. So I do like Buffalo here. I also like the under in this one as well. I like basically all the favorites except for the Texans.
The Chargers are the favorites.
Yeah, so I mean, like I lean the Texans in that one.
I got you. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on the favorites here, which is par for the course for this NFL season. So
Yeah, and then it's like the next game, Green Bay at Philly. Philly's laying 4.5. The total's 45.5. I mean, what's up with Jordan Love? Like, what's up with his injury?
yep, Jordan Love injury is questionable too. I mean, Hurts is questionable, but he sat last week, which gives him a whole extra week to recover from his concussion there. LaFleur said that he thinks Love's hand is going to be okay, but it's not clear whether he'll be limited practice heading into Sunday.
Jesus.
And then you have Watson, who just tore his ACL, who's out. That's a huge, offensive weapon that's gone there.
What's up with Devontae Smith?
Devontae Smith questionable. That's all it says. Doesn't say if he practiced or not today.
Because I mean, they rested everybody last week, so I mean, Philly's going to be pretty healthy. It's just it's hard not seeing them win this game by a million.
Yeah. Devontae is see, we don't have any updates from the Phillies camp.
Yeah, nothing's come out yet, so it's hard to fucking tell. But it's still like, I mean, even if Jordan Love isn't 100%, dude, the Packers are gonna really struggle. I mean, they rely on running the ball. The Phillies are hella good against the run.
Yep. Green Bay is pretty good against the run, 99.4 yards per game, but Saquon is Saquon. He's definitely a special running back that can find those holes. So,
yeah, I like Philly in this one, dude. I think Philly's the most intriguing. Sorry, Philly's like the most intriguing team in the NFC to me. Because I do think that their defensive line is the best. I think they have the best defensive line in the NFL, and that travels. And I think they can give the Vikings and the fucking Lions hella fits, dude. Especially because the Lions have a lot of injuries right now.
But man, did they come out strong on Sunday night?
Yeah, I kind of figured they would at home. The Lions have a really good home field advantage.
Yeah, and they're going to be home throughout the playoffs. So, and they get a week of rest here.
But what the Eagles do well travels. Like, they run the ball well, and they fucking are a hella good defensive team. That's two things that travel well. And that's why I like the Phillies. That's why Phillies. That's why I like the Eagles. I think the Eagles can legitimately win the NFC, dude. I think the Bills can win the AFC. I got to see it to believe it. Because Josh Allen needs to get over that Mahomes hump. He has not been able to beat Mahomes in the playoffs yet.
Let's see. We've got where Why didn't you go there? I was looking at conference Super Bowl winners. All futures. Let's see. If you want to go Eagles, plus 300
To win the NFC.
to win the NFC. Detroit plus 100, Eagles plus 300, Green Bay plus Vikings plus 700, Green Bay plus 750. Then you have Tampa Bay plus 1,000, and the Commies and the Rams plus 1,500.
Yeah, the Commies are like the one team I would not want to touch.
Yeah. Like you can bet the Eagles and the Lions to hedge. Lions, you don't win any money, but if the Eagles win, you win plus 200, so twice what you bet.
I just think that I'll say this, dude. If the Lions play the Eagles like they did on Sunday night, they would lose. Like Jerry, they had 2 turnovers, you know.
Oh yeah, that was dumb.
And
dumb pass right there. Yeah.
And also, the Vikings were like 0 for 4 in the red zone, and the Eagles aren't going to do that. Especially when they get down near the goal line, because they're just going to fucking tush push it in, dude.
Yeah, the only worry that I have about the Eagles is their health.
The Eagles are healthy.
The Eagles didn't play a lot of players last week, but
yeah,
you've got Devontae Adams, you got Marcus Brown, you've got Jalen Hurts coming off a concussion.
That'll be fine, dude. I'd rather a dude rather have a guy coming off a concussion than a dude with a fucking messed up hand.
Oh no, I'm talking to win the NFC or I wasn't talking about Sunday's game.
No, I'm not worried about Jalen Hurts. Like, they could have played him 2 weeks ago, they said, and they didn't. They've let him rest for 2 weeks, so they gotta run the ball. If they don't run the ball, they're not gonna beat anybody, but
yeah,
they can run the ball hella effectively, dude. They run the ball against everybody.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to the next game on Monday night. This is Monday night, right? Washington at Tampa?
No, Sunday.
Is it Sunday night?
Sunday at 5. Yeah. Okay. Monday is Vikings Rams.
So Sunday night we have Washington at Tampa. Tampa lane 3 here. The total's at 50.5. I would not play the over. The way the Washington Commies looked on Sunday against the fucking Cowboys. But I also wouldn't play the under here.
Yeah.
But it is Jaden Daniels' first playoff game. I mean, I think Tampa smokes them, dude.
Yeah, the only thing I worry about is Baker did not have a good game on
Sunday.
On Sunday, yeah. That was what was it? 21 for 32 for 221, 2 touchdowns, an interception, and a fumble. So, I mean, if Baker can, oh no, sorry, fumble was recovered by Tampa Bay. If Baker, obvious, this is a dumb statement. If Baker has a good game, then yeah, I think Tampa Bay trounces, but I think this is a case of one, Washington having a easier schedule, and like them being a year or two ahead of where we expected them to be.
Yeah. I also think defensively they can't stop the run. And
Bucky's look good.
Bucky has looked good, and also Tampa, they're third in yards per rush, 5.3. So, and they're third in passing yards. I mean, they're one of the more prolific offenses in the league, and we've kind of seen Washington's offense scuffle a little bit, and they want to run the ball, and that's what Tampa does really well. They stop the run. You know, they got Vita Vea in the middle. They're fourth in rush defense, only allowing 97 yards, and they're only allowing 4.3 yards per rush, which is top 10.
Wow, and Washington third to worst in the league in rushing yards allowed per game.
They're second to worst, third to worst. No, you're right. They're 30th.
Worst,
yeah, 137 yards per game, 4.8 yards per rush. Yeah, so I like Tampa here minus the 3. It looks like on some books it's heading towards 2.5, and so if you're, maybe we could wait and get 2.5. But I like Tampa here, dude. I think Tampa. I'm also willing to do like a money line parlay with like Philly and Tampa. I think that's a pretty safe bet too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually gonna write that down.
Philly minus 230, Tampa Bay minus 160.
Yeah, parlay them together.
Mm-hmm.
That's like what, plus 110?
Let me see. Football, NFL. Philly minus 230, Tampa Bay minus 160. Hundred wins you 133.
Nice. So plus 133 on that.
Yep.
I like that. I like that. You like that?
I hate that they already have hypothetical division matchups.
Those are good though. If you are really confident, you can get some good numbers. If you're confident that a team's gonna win. All right. Let's move on to the next game. We have the Vikings heading in to LA to face the
Rams.
Currently the Rams
I
are
believe Vikings are on the road. Sorry.
winning 14 games.
Yeah, 14-3.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I'm really torn on this game.
What was Tampa money line? Sorry.
160.
160.
Because right now this one's a pick. It's moved to a pick. Book opened Minnesota minus 2.5. It's now at a pick.
Interesting. This one's tough because they played this game earlier in the year and the Rams won on like some fluke shit, dude. Like, I was on the Rams in that game. I should have probably lost. The Vikings should have covered and won. But I will say this, dude. Like, the Vikings have like Justin Jefferson and they have Jordan Addison, but their offensive line is not that good, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Their offensive
and the Vikings have won. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say they've won against a lot of bad teams. Like this is another team that has a very cush schedule. You've got wins against the Giants, the Niners,
Who's this? The Vikings or the Rams?
the Vikings.
Okay.
Uh, the Giants, they did win against Niners, Houston, and Green Bay. But then you've got the New York Jets, the Colts, the Jacksonville, Tennessee, twice against Chicago, Arizona, Atlanta, Seattle, and then they beat Green Bay twice.
Yeah.
Both close games, both 2-point games against Green Bay. So they're winning against not great teams. The Rams have looked better once they've gotten healthy,
Yeah. That's a key thing.
but are the Rams really all that good?
That's the thing is like the Rams are like a head scratching team to me because you know they got smacked around by fucking Philly. They lost to Miami. Um they beat Buffalo, which was a good win, but I mean they did give up 42 points.
Uh-huh.
And then the following week they only scored 12 against a fucking beat up Niners defense.
Yep.
They win it in New York, the Jets
Only
19
by
to
10.
9. And then they barely beat the Cardinals. Like that was a close fucking game. Cardinals had a lot of chances to win that one. And then obviously last week they lost, but they were resting everybody.
Yeah.
That's why this game is so tough to me because like I think the Vikings are a better team, but my biggest concern, dude, is like the Vikings offensive line fucking sucks, dude. And we saw it affect Darnold last week where he was missing a lot of throws because he was under so much pressure. And the Rams defensive line has gotten a lot better as the season's gone on. I mean, dude, the Rams offensive line been 23rd in sacks, dude. Like they give up a lot of fucking pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And that concerns me.
Yep.
Concerns me a lot. So
what about defensively? I don't have sack numbers. Where are the Rams sack wise?
they are. I mean, they only average about 2.2 yards. I mean, not 2.2, 2.2 sacks per game, but you know, they've improved as the year has gone on.
Yeah. They allow a lot of passing yards. They allow a lot of running yards.
Yeah, they do give up a lot on the ground.
Yeah. That's something that kind of worries me.
I mean, they give up 353 total yards per game.
Yeah, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 7th worst, so 23rd in the NFL.
Yeah. Yep. Now on the flip side, the Vikings are terrible against the pass, and that's what the Rams do well.
Yeah, but the Vikings have the most interceptions in the league by far. I think it's not even close.
Yeah, they average 1.4, but Stafford doesn't really throw that many interceptions. He's averaging a half an interception a game.
Yeah, 8 interceptions on the year. I lean Minnesota here, but
Yeah, same here. I lean Minnesota, but this is probably not. I'm probably not going to play this game.
yeah, it's a pick. So this could be, if the Rams score first, hammer Minnesota.
Yeah, play them live.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
47.5, I think, is right there.
Yeah, I think that's what I was gonna say too. I think the total's like right, dude. I don't really have a opinion on the total. Like if it was 50.5, I would definitely play the under. If it was like 45.5, I would play the over. But I think 47.5 is a pretty good number, dude. I think it's right on.
Yep.
So nothing from me there. Yeah, it's like you said, dude. It's probably an in-game wager here.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think it's worth taking whoever fucking scores first. You just take the other team +7.
Yeah.
Or +6.5. Because I think it's gonna be a close game regardless. Like I think it's gonna be a field goal game either way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's get some best bets.
Here we go.
What do we like, Ben?
So I've got 4 from the games that we talked about. I'm gonna go Buffalo -8.5. I'm gonna go Chargers -3. It's all chalk here. Eagles, what was it, -4.5?
Yep.
Eagles -4.5. And Tampa Bay -3.
Nice.
I do like your parlay, but I'm gonna leave that for you.
I'm going Texans Chargers under 42.5, and then I'm gonna do the money line parlay Tampa and Philly +133. That's gonna be a 1.5 unit bet. So I like that. I like that bet. Those are like the 2 teams that I like at those prices. So we're gonna go money line parlay Tampa Philly there. All right. Thank you everybody for joining us. We will be back on Sunday. We'll be recapping what went down on the Wild Cards weekend, and obviously we'll look ahead to the next Monday as well, or Monday game. But if you missed any of the show, you can catch it on all podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast fix. It's available right after the show. It'll be up there. Just search Taproom Sports Podcast. Make sure to download the Sharps app, SHARPZ, straight to your mobile device. Use promo code JORD517. It's free to download, free to use. Track your bets. Become a better Sharps app. You can follow us on Instagram at Taproom Sports Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at Taproom_sports. Follow myself at Jordan Rules TSP. For Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson, I'm Jordan Stacks on Stacks Lats. We'll catch y'all later. We out of here. Peace.
Look for an announcement this week.
Yes.
It's coming.
I forgot to do the announcement, but we'll announce it later. Follow the podcast. We'll probably announce it. We'll announce it Sunday. Let's announce it Sunday.
Sounds good.
All right. We're out of here.